Hi, today let's have a look at the VLOOKUP function in Microsoft Excel and see how it can help us in our day-to-day tasks. In front of us, I have got a stock list which contains a list of all the smartphones that our company is dealing in with a brand and selling price. Now, in my day-to-day requirement, I have to prepare a customer quotation. So I've shortened the list here for our understanding purposes. So this could be a very long list. It's not going to be a problem. We don't want to be doing this wherein we find information and we copy and paste and then we see what is the value and then put it in our Excel. That is something we want to avoid and get it done in a much faster and neater way. So here I'm going to use the formula is equal to VLOOKUP, open brackets. I need a lookup value. I've just marked it here what value I'm looking for ease of our understanding. I want to look for the 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐫, comma, the table array, that is my data table. I will select the values here in my data table like this. And then I need to provide the column index number. So I put a comma here. Column index number is that if I'm looking for the product, where is my selling price in terms of the number of the columns? So it is 1, 2, 3. It is a third column from which I want the results. So I put 3, comma, I'm looking for an exact match. So I'll use the value false. Exact match means it will make sure that it is matching the word to word for what you're looking for and not returning any other similar match values. Now you can copy paste this, but you might encounter an error because when you copy paste a formula, the reference also keeps shifting. So if I press F2 on the keyboard, I can see that my table is now shifting. It has moved from the 6th row. So to fix that, we can do a table referencing wherein we can go and select this A5 to C15 and press the F4 shortcut key on the keyboard. In that case, it will put a $sign and make it a fixed reference. And now if you copy or drag this formula down, it should give you all the numbers properly. Another point to remember here is VLOOKUP will often give you the first value from your table. So here if I have 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐫, now for our understanding purposes, I'm going to copy this 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐫 information in the second line and I'm going to change the price here to 500. But if you see, it will only return the value which it finds first. So it will look for this 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐫 and it will give me the value corresponding to that particular item. To avoid this, it will be a good idea to make sure that your sheet does not have duplicates. And if it is the case, you can correct it and maybe you can keep the one which is appropriate. Or if it's just the duplication of value and the prices are same, then you can even look at the option wherein you can go to the data tab and use the remove duplicate options from here by selecting the table. Click on remove duplicates and tell the system that you are looking to find duplicates in your product name and click OK, and that will take care of removing your duplicate values. Be careful while removing the duplicates and just make sure that you're doing it in the best way possible for your own work. Also, you need to watch out for the hidden columns. So here we are giving a column reference number which is 3. So let's say if I insert a column here, immediately my selling prices will become 0 because now the reference, the table would have expanded the array and then the column reference number 3 returns 0 or blank values. That's why just be careful of the hidden value, hidden rows or hidden columns. So if I hide this here, again I'll have the same problem, even though it might look like I'm using the third column in my view, but system or Excel is going to calculate all the rows or in columns which you will select in your table array. So let's just have a look at it again. So in this case, what you can do is you can select VLOOKUP formula, select the value that you want to find, select the table, and while you are selecting the table, just pay attention when at the end of the table it tells you how many rows and columns you've selected. So I've selected 10 rows and 4 columns in this case. So I've selected my value as the last column. So I know it is in the 4th column in this example. So I'll just put comma 4, comma false, and then I get my values properly done. This would be helpful when you're dealing with large data sets and which span a lot of columns, and then you need to find out which column you need in terms of your results. So this might be helpful. Again, make sure that you are fixed referencing it to avoid issues with the change of table reference. So here it fixes the formula properly. Now, few other points. In terms of table reference, I generally also use another approach where I put a VLOOKUP formula, look for a value, and instead of selecting the table value like this, which is obviously a good way, but if I'm dealing with small data set, I just select the entire column itself. Now in this case, I put a comma and I want the values from the column 3 and an exact match. All the values will be picked up accordingly. Now I've done that because this particular item I've kept it at the bottom here. So this is just to prove that even if you add more values in this table, you don't have to make any changes to the formula. Another way of fixing the references is by creating a table. So you can select this data from where you want to find the result and click on the insert button and the table option. Now this will convert your data into a table format. So now when you reference this particular table, instead of giving it a cell reference, it will automatically pick up the table name. So here you can see it is showing me table 3, which is this particular table name in Excel, comma, I want the value from the column number 4, because here I have a hidden column, comma, I want an exact match, then I write false, so on and so forth. Next, the leftmost point to remember. The value that you're looking for needs to be the leftmost value in your data table. So in this example, I've moved the product in the second column. So what happens here? I put a VLOOKUP formula. I want to look up the product and then I will select the range in this manner. Okay, let's press F4 to fix the cell table reference, comma. Now we need to return the value in the second column because I have only 2 columns selected and my selling price is in the second column, comma, false for exact match. And this is how it works. Another point to remember, if you are looking up for values from another sheet, open in front of you, enter the formula, VLOOKUP for this value, make sure that the sheet is in this Excel workbook, go back, and then you can reference it in different ways. We have seen 3 different options. I'm selecting the full column option. I want the value from the column number 3 with an exact match, and I hit the enter key, and that works. Similarly, you can even do a VLOOKUP from another workbook. From this particular stock list, which is a separate workbook, I can write a VLOOKUP formula, look up for this product value in this particular workbook and give me the value from the column number 3 for an exact match, enter. So it will work. So here it will reference the Excel worksheet or the workbook name followed by the sheet name and then rest of the information that you have selected. That's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos in future. Thank you and have a nice day.